So in this class we'll see how to write a hello world program in Java, and we'll see all the different uh, features that are there in a simple Java program. Okay. So this is a hello world program. It's a very simple program. All it is doing is it is printing the string called hello world. Okay. When you run this program, that's what it's going to print. So in the hello world, first you write the name of the class. Okay, and generally the name of the class starts with an uppercase letter, and every word begins with an uppercase letter. So hello, H starts with uppercase and W starts with an uppercase. So this is a convention that is followed in the industry. And the name of the class and the name of the file should match, and the name of the file should end with .java. So if the class name is hello world, the name of the class is hello world.java. If the class name is hi world, the name of the class should be hi world.java. And the class name is preceded with these keywords called public and class. Class identifies that it is going to be a class, and public is an access keyword which says that this class can be accessed by everyone. Okay, and we have to create a method called main. Okay, the main method is the entry point to your program. So when you run a class, if you want to run that class, you should create a method called main. Main is the entry to your running program, and main method has a certain signature. It should always look like this. It should say public static void main, and inside the parenthesis we tell the arguments to main. So the arguments to main is, it takes one argument called args, and we always specify the type of every argument in a method. So args is the name of the argument, and it is of type string opening brackets closing brackets. That means it's an array of strings. An array is a collection of objects or primitive types. So this args has to be an array of string objects. Okay, and inside this method, the method body, it starts from this opening parenthesis and closes at this closing parenthesis. And here we are using the println method from the object called out, which belongs to the system object. And to the println means print line. That means whatever string, whatever you are passing to it, it will print that and also go to the next line. Whereas there is a method called system.out.print, it will just print it and stay on, the cursor will stay on the same line. Whereas println will actually print the argument and go to the next line. Okay, so all code is contained within a class, and it is between the opening brace and the closing brace. And the method, every method also starts with an opening brace and ends with a closing brace. So the main method ends with the body of the main method starts from the opening brace and ends at this closing brace. This is called as a block. A block is a group of statements that will execute in a sequential way. And the name of the class should match the name of the file before the .java. So if the class name is hello, if the file name is hello world.java, the class name has to be hello world. Okay, and all the executable statements are inside the main method, which is your entry point to your program. Okay, and an important thing to remember is Java is case sensitive. So if you write hello world as a class name, the name of the file also has to be H uppercase and W uppercase. Okay, so hello world is not the same as lowercase hello world, and string is not the same as lowercase string. So it is very important to know that Java is case sensitive. Okay, And generally we use a convention called camel case for naming the class names and variable names. Okay. In camel case, the first word always begins with uppercase, and if there are multiple words, each word begins with an uppercase. Okay. So let's run this program in Eclipse. So let me open my Eclipse. And in Eclipse, I can go to this navigator view or the package explorer, and in the package explorer I'll go to my program called hello. In my hello world I have a few changes. Okay, it's a very simple class. It's an elementary Java class. Not only does it print, but it also reads the command line arguments. Okay, this is called as Java docs, where you write some brief documentation about your class. Okay, so the name of the class is Helloworld and the name of the file is helloworld.java, and there is a main method. Inside the main method it takes two arguments. Okay, and in Java you can have comments in your program. Comments are never compiled, so you can have like single line comments or comments which span multiple lines. Single line comments always start with //. So this is a single line comment, whereas a comment which spans multiple lines, it starts with /* and ends with //. So in this program I'm just printing the first name and the last name of the user. Okay, and args is a parameter that is being passed, and we are passing the first name and the last name of the user. Okay, since its args is an array, I'm taking the first element of the array. An array always starts with index 0 and the next element is index 1. So the first name I'm using from args, the first argument arg0, and the next one is last name. And then I'm also declaring a few variables here. Let's comment this out. All I want to show is print the user's first name and last name. Okay, so this is a multi-line comment. It starts with a / and ends with a //. As soon as I comment it, notice the color changes. Okay, and here I have a println which says this is your first Java program, and I'm saying how are you doing, Mr. First name, last name. First name and last name are string variables. Actually they are string objects, and every object name is preceded by the class name. So Java is a statically typed language, so every variable that you use we have to declare its type. So first name is of type string. L name, let's call it as last name. Is also of type string, and it is the second argument which is passed to this program. And here you see the plus, it concatenates two strings. This is the first string, it is concatenating with the first name, and that itself is concatenated to a space, and that is concatenated to the last name, and at the very end it's concatenating to a space and a question mark. Okay, and the way you run this program is you right click in Eclipse and say run as Java application. Okay, so when I run this program, let's run this. I say hello world. So it says hello, this is your first Java program. How are you doing, Mr. Sujit Kumar? And where did it get this first name and last name? So what you do is when you first time you run it, you open the run dialog and go to the argument section, and you can pass the program arguments Sujit and Kumar. Let's say the first time you run it, I already have these program arguments. I'm going to remove that, and this is probably what you will have the very first time you run it. So when I say run, it fails with an exception because I'm not passing any arguments. So this arg0 and args1, they have not been initialized. So it creates what is called as an array index out of bound exception. I'll come to that later. So at this point of time, you just run it, you'll get that exception, that's fine. And then the next time when you run this, the first time you run it, you always run as Java application. The next time you want to run it, you can just click this play button. And in this play button, the last program that was run will be run when you click on the play button. So if I run this, it's again going to show the same thing. And if you click on this down, this arrow here, it can also show you all the other programs that you have run in the past. The most recently run program is always at the top. If you want run some other program, you can run those as well. Okay, I just want to show you that you can run multiple programs. You can choose any program that you have run in the past. Okay, and it's always the most recent one is at the top. Okay, so I can run like this as well. Again, it's going to get that error, or I can hit the play button and you get that error. To fix that error, you have to pass some arguments, right? So what you should do is open the run dialog, and there's a main tab and the arguments tab. Go to the arguments tab and enter some values. Let's say I enter Hafiz Sensui. Apply and run. So it'll use those two arguments. arg0 is Hafiz and args1 is Sensui. So first it printed, hello, this is your first Java program. That's where you see that here. And see if it went into the next line. If I don't use that println and just use print and run this program, now it again runs the same program, but this time it's going to use those arguments, Hafiz and Sensui. Hafiz is the first name and Sensui is the last name. And now if you see, it's putting them all in the same line because I don't have the println. Okay, so if I want them to go into separate lines, I have to use a println. So this is just like a basic elementary Java program which illustrates how you create a program and run it. And then you can also in Java, in Eclipse, if you see under the project menu, there is this item called build automatically. So what that does is it automatically compiles your program as and when you save it. Okay, and let's say there are some errors. Okay, let me change this main method, or let's say instead of args here I have a typo and I just use arg, and let's save this. When I save this, first of all it shows the errors over here with a cross mark, and there it will show the message that arg cannot be resolved. So it doesn't know what arg is. And you can also see that at the top over here. The red cross mark means that this program has some errors. Okay, and you also see that red mark over here, and you can access that error by clicking this, and it will take you to that line number. Okay. When there are some errors in your program, you can also see it under the problems tab. Under the problems tab, you will see two sections. One is the error section and one is a warning section. Generally you should not have both errors and warnings. Warnings are okay, the program will still compile and run, but errors are not okay. You have to fix all the errors. So it shows how many errors are there, and you can double click that and it will take you to the line which has that error, and there you can go and fix that error. It says arg cannot be resolved. So let's go and change that, make it args. Now that red cross mark has gone, and you can save it, and the red cross mark goes away from here, and the errors have also disappeared. There are no more errors now. Now you can run this program. And in the console it will show you the output of the program. Okay, so why don't you run this program and see whether it is working for you.